have paper ballots in Denver County, but they're going to be processed not only centrally, but they're going to be 11 satellite locations, and they're going to be ferrying ballots around all over the county all day long. You know, how is anybody going to really maintain any security of chain of custody in this kind of situation? It is really horrendous. So, you know, and I got a call from a guy Thursday afternoon, and he said, you know, I was running for county commissioner in Lake County, which is a small county, and there were like 837 total votes in this county commissioner list. He said, I lost by 5 votes. The heart scanner broke down 4 times during the time they were scanning the ballots, and one ballot had to be fed through the scanner 20 times to get it to be read. Our Secretary of State's office tested the heart scanners, came up with a 1% error rate, which is way outside the federal maximum of 0.02% error rate. So we have huge problems here, but they're not just Colorado problems, they're problems everywhere. Thank you.
Mariah Conroy real quick. Mariah was the lead plaintiff in the case, Conroy versus Dennis. Successfully sued our Secretary of State for allowing equipment to be used without being properly tested before certification. Mariah.
I don't have a voice, and we're short on time, so in a nutshell, just a bunch of activists who woke up in 2000 to see what happened, started getting active before the electronic voting system disease spread across the country and tried to get really active. So we've been active for 8 years now. We've dealt with some excellent pro bono attorneys that were willing to spend over $1 million of their time to sue the Secretary of State in 2006. We won in the courts. We lost in the court of not public opinion, but in the executive, the legislature, who actually, I would just say that we were outrun and outspent with taxpayer dollars by the County Clerks Association. And really, I mean, I don't want to take up too much time. I mean, I'm local if you guys are interested in the story. But there are a couple of things that people said here that are critical. Martha said, well, is a small county. Well, there's a small county, but the CD4 race that has elected Marilyn Musgrave to Congress, that is a critical county. In 2004, the Secretary of State purged more than 20% of voters from the rolls. Those people are going to show up this fall. To get that, I hope people check their registration, because that's totally going to happen. No two ways about it. I wanted to also the thing that everyone's missing, and why I think this room is not completely packed, but thank you, it's a pretty good turnout, is that this is business as usual. My generation, we were what's wrong with private companies, and so people just don't quite get it. And so it's just business as usual. And the other really final thing I think that is until we get this this money from the vendors and private corporations out of the state legislatures and out of the county offices, we're not going to have our democracy back. So I think you just need to, whatever you got from here, just keep digging, because there's big stories out there and it's just shocking that we're 2008, you guys, and we've been fighting this for a really long time, and it's just there's new stuff every day, and the media is just waking up, and I really applaud you for coming to this. It's so vital, and you guys, there's great big stories there. So I'm local here, and I won't take up any more time, so we can keep moving. But thanks for coming.
Note that from Arizona, John Brady and Jim March from BlackBoxVoting are here. They just got pretty deep and narrow into some databases and looking at some electronic voting records that haven't been seen before. Can you both raise your hand? Perhaps?
Yeah. If I could comment real quick, what we ran into was a public records fight. It happened in 2 phases. The first public records battle showed that the county was regularly printing out who's winning and losing the election before election day based on the mail-in vote. They were peeking at that data. We were able to prove that with audit logs we obtained in public records. We then said, hey, we want the entire raw databases, the raw debris from past elections, so we can start going through and looking for other trouble. And that's what turned into a giant court battle. So the election integrity fight is very often centering around public records issues. And that's something that every journalist, I believe, in the room would understand thoroughly.
Well, thanks for going that extra mile.
Sure.
That's great.
Raise your hand just so reporters can see if they want to ask about that
It's
case.
Audit AZ, and he's with BlackBox.
Yeah.
We're very close together.
We have business cards.
1,300 databases going back to May of 1998. And we're very hopeful of what we're going to find, because the largest release before this was 3 databases, one day, Alaska. And we're talking a couple of days after the election. The guy who was running these databases was a really great hack rat. We're really grateful to him. We hope he stays alive for long enough to get immunity and testify against everybody else. And we have a prosecutor, of course. We need that.
I just said, we're actually developing a software analysis tool to look at these Diebold databases across time and track changes that should not be changing. The volume of data is such that human eyeballs can't track it. So we're actually writing the software tools to go through it all.
All right, that's a lot of spade work.
Yes.
It's good to get your hands on these for a while. Actually, that much data to go through. Someone who's really has a lot of energy and enthusiasm for doing that spade work is Harvey Branson. Harvey's a board member of Colorado's Voting Integrity. He's the chair of the Eagle County Dems. He's a member of the Colorado Voters Group, and he specializes in post-election audits. He's a citizen lobbyist and a friend and colleague. And I'm going to have to ask you to be incredibly brief so we can wrap it up here. But Harvey Branson.
On the records issue, we actually rescued the Colorado law from an onslaught by the county clerks to try to block the access to paper ballots through the open records law. We still have our open records law in Colorado, so we can get to paper ballots after election. Actually, I am one of those people who was on the ground. Margaret Tierney was talking about. I'm a testing board member. I'm a canvass board member, so I'm in a small county. There's no glass wall between me and the voting machine. So I actually touch. I'm a technology guy. I run a computer company. I actually touch the ballots. I personally, we're running an election right now. Nobody's mentioned it, but the audits have to be turned in by Monday. And I'm working on an audit report from Eagle County, which is going to be an extensive description of strange failings of the hard ballot now central count scanner, which is very popular in Colorado. I just finished a logic and accuracy test, which has a longer report, but a page of it is right here in the back of the room that shows how a very light smudge on a ballot could turn into a vote that will not be found by we're not allowed to actually look at these ballots in the initial count. The machine has to tell us when to actually get a resolution board to look at the ballot and look for a mistake like this. This is an interpretation mistake, not a counting mistake. Machines are bad at interpretation. They're good at counting. We have to separate those two. We shouldn't just be talking about vote counting. It's vote interpretation and counting. There's another point. We've talked a lot about security. We hear a whole lot about security, and the court case in Colorado turned out to be all about security, but I think it's possible to overdo security, and it may actually have been overdone in rules here in Colorado, because we've got election officials working with tiny stickers trying to cover every slot on every voting machine, and they're actually not focusing on some of the more important elements of accuracy in the course of blocking the access for potential attackers. And I, as a testing board person, actually am considered a potential attacker. Actually, the security gets in the way of my access to actually verify that the vote is accurate. So this is something to watch out for. We need to watch out for the lines. Lines don't get reported except when there are huge problems, such as in Denver County. We have lines in Eagle County which cause people to walk away, and only from having a clerk that decided not to freely hand out paper ballots, but the paper ballots are actually at the polls. We need to worry. In Colorado also, we have election officials have a massive inbred fear of hand counting. There's just no question about it. We can talk about how wonderful hand counting is, but we have to overcome that fear somehow, and that's because we don't really understand how to do it accurately. It is possible. I do hand counts which are increasingly accurate with every iteration of observation of the ballots, but it's not the normal method. We have to watch out for vote centers. Vote centers are a star project in Colorado. We have county clerks who are trying to gain national fame by spreading vote centers. Vote centers have real problems with them. They're like putting taking factory efficiency and applying it to voting. We have problems with